Welcome back to episode 8, and Thrall is giving us a quest for the Ragefire Chasm. Now, I know I said in the last video that we are going to be taking on several dungeons, but unfortunately, as you see here running into Ragefire Chasm, the dungeon, it crashes my game. So I'm not going to be able to do Ragefire Chasm just yet. I do eventually get to it, but not in this episode. Instead, I go back to my base and I think of what I'm going to do next. Now then, what I'm wearing right now is basically medium armor, basically iron and steel tiered gear, and it's not really that good for doing dungeons. Oh, by the way, I updated my base. I've expanded it out, I added a farm. One of them is a roleplay farm, so it doesn't really do anything, but this pig pen here and this rabbit pen does provide meat, fur, tusks, basically anything you would get from those animals. And then the little chickens there are just cosmetic, they're roleplay only. I added this building here, which I'm going to be using as a tavern for both my NPCs as well as myself. Also, there is a tavern system that when you do it, you can unlock new NPCs, quests, and a bunch of other stuff in the game that is hidden behind that system. I also have a dancer here that I still need to dress up, but that helps clear out corruption. Anyway, back to what I was saying. The armor that I have is not really that good for dungeon delving, especially by myself. So I gathered up a bunch of my followers and I headed to Theramore. Now, Theramore itself I will clear out later on as it's full of NPCs, especially tough elite ones, not to mention Jaina, who is a boss battle, but inside there is a dungeon. The dungeon is within the barracks of Theramore, so I'm having to run through real quick, trying to not gain the attention of the humans, though it doesn't work out too well. Luckily, I was close enough to the barracks in order to just kill what little did attack me, and then I rushed down into the basement where there is a dungeon, and that dungeon is the Stockades. I had remembered doing the Stockades during my Season 1 playthrough, the last time I played this map about 2 years ago or so, and from what I remember, you can get the Silent Legion armor in here, which is one of the better endgame armor sets. Entering into the Stockades, it is dark as hell, even during the daytime, and for some reason at nighttime, caves and dungeons also take on the darkness of night, even though, you're not in the sun or the moonlight, so it will make it a lot darker. For right now, you can just barely see. At some point, I do have to use a torch to kind of navigate my way around. But just like in the Stockades, each room will have prisoners that you can kill. By stepping on that little button there, you can open up the doors. I go inside and I kill who I can and loot the chests in all the different rooms. The rooms themselves are not really consequential. You can completely skip them if you want to. There's nothing really of value inside of them, nor do the enemies have anything of value either. I just do it for the sake of completionism. Now, as you get to the end of the hallway, you will see that the door is closed. In the Stockades dungeon, it's almost like a cross, where as you go up there, you have a three-way split. The frontal way will have a boss, as well as the left and the right. Typically, in Stockades and World of Warcraft, when you go to the left, that is where the final boss is, while the frontal one would be the first boss, and going to the right would be an optional boss. Here, it is different. If you go to the left, it will unlock the door to the right where the first boss is, and then the frontal door is where the final boss lays. Now, as you see there, I take the left in order to reach that lever. Of course, I stop at all the different doors and clear them out for, again, that sake of completionism, but I eventually get to the lever and I pull it. As it turns green, that lets me know that the door is now unlocked. So now I can head straight across to where the right area would be. There is a mini-boss in here, but they're not really that consequential. They go down pretty much without a hitch. You also have to take down a lot of the add-ons that are in the area. Again, they're not really that difficult, especially if you have a lot of followers like I do, or you have a friend at least. If you are by yourself and undergeared, it might take you a little while to take them down, but as you search around the area, you might be able to find chests like this one here that has a legendary item, as well as actually some pretty good resources for in-game. There is also a lot of items that are just laying around that you could pick up, such as gold bars, coins, and so on. But once you defeat the mini-boss, now you can go to the straight ahead, where the final boss is, as well as Death Knights. Now these Death Knights are wearing the Silent Legion armor, and some of them even wear Tier 3 warrior armor. Now Tier 3 warrior armor can be obtained in this mod, I just have not found out the way to obtain it just yet. But we are going to be going for the Silent Legion armor, as that's going to be pretty much the best armor set I can wear as of right now. While fighting through the hallway of all the various enemies, the boss aggroed onto me. I saw him slowly inch his way toward me. Now he walks very slow, so you can outpace him and finish off the ads if you need to. You just have to watch out because he does have at least one or two abilities that are more ranged. And then most of his abilities up close are going to be cleaves or AoE abilities. He is very strong, and as you see there, he hits me and he takes out pretty much a good chunk of my health. He actually starts to take down a lot of my followers. This is not going to be a one-shot kill, as I'm fighting him, I noticed that I was not going to win this fight, so I use up a potion and I quickly call back my followers. Luckily, about halfway through the room, he will reset, so he will not chase you all the way to the exit, if anything. So with that, I was able to bring back up my followers that had fallen, and they were starting to get to the point that, yeah, if they go down one more time, they're dead for good. So what I do is I switch Zakar with another of my followers' weapons. I give him the bow so he can stay far away without being downed again, and I give the other one his weapons. I also give them all food and bandages to heal up. Now, I was starting to get low as I was pretty much giving them my rations. They had finished all of theirs, and I had very little of my own left. So this left me with having to wait around for their HP to go up naturally, which led to a lot of respawns, as respawns in this game only take about 5 minutes. And with the respawns, they ended up bringing the boss as well. While it wasn't how I wanted to engage the boss fight a second time, we were at least better off than the last time, as most of my followers were now fully somewhat healed. They did take some damage from the NPCs that were added on, but it's fine. They went down, and eventually the boss went down as well, though it took a few minutes. And he dropped a Mark of the Hunter, which is great because up until now I had no idea where to find them. Now I do. It seems that boss battles from dungeons are what drop them. I still need to know where to find the marks of the Horde, Alliance, and the Brigands, but what I'm here for is the Silent Legion armor, which I just now learned from touching that suit of armor that you saw there. While Silent Legion I wouldn't say is the best armor overall, it is one of the highest grade armors in the game, so I will be able to make it and take on the stronger dungeons shortly after. And it takes very little resources, mostly just star metal, black ice, and a bunch of resources that I already have, so I can make the armor set right away. Now, I make most of them the heavy armor sets, but the chest piece I make the light set because I'm an orc, I need to show off my broad muscular chest, so the light set has it so it's like a harness with shoulder pads and everything attached rather than a full cuirass as the heavy set would have. So that's the only one that I have. Later on though, I will actually switch it to the heavy armor set and then utilize just the look of the light set using the transmog system. The helmet will come eventually later as well, and that will be transmogged, but for now this is way more than I had before, and it gives me a much higher armor rating. So this is going to be great for taking on the next challenges of the upcoming episodes. Now, the star metal that I had to make what little armor I could, I got from disassembling star metal weapons that I had looted from the Vanir nearby. I don't have enough to make the full armor set just yet, so I need to get more. But to get more, I need to make a hardened steel pickaxe. I go ahead and make one and head back to the Stone Talon Mountains into that mine where we found these star metal originally. Once I looted a bunch of that and some black ice, I headed back home and started making more star metal ingots. And while that cooked in the forge, I went ahead and started making some medium armor padding in order to start making better armor and even transmog armor for my followers, such as this druid piece right here with the bear shawls or heads or whatever it is for shoulder pads. You have that other druid set that was like a Zulamon set from World of Warcraft, so that's going to be later on. At least I'm getting a start on it. But as you see, the chest with all of these decorations is getting quite full. I've been looting pretty much every decoration and treasure treasure that I have off of enemies. So with that, I am going to have to finish my fort eventually to make a treasure room to store all of that in. As for the decorations, I go ahead and start placing them around my base. After all, I've already expanded it, but I haven't really decorated it, so this will be the proper time to do so while I wait for the armor to be made. Now then, the next episode is going to be the Dust Wallow Marsh, where you'll see me take on lots of creatures like this giant spider here. Until then, I will see you next time.